I am really proud of all of us to show up. You know, there's a lot of different things that pull on our time strings, our heartstrings, our prioritization. And the fact that you are saying, I'm important, I'm a priority, and I'm prioritizing this moment to take my pause to learn about what is going on with my hormones and my energy and what is this perimenopause, menopause thing and what does that mean to feel like I can be in motion while taking a pause. Today we're getting into dismantling what is in the way of our vitality. I encourage each and every one of you to begin by just arriving fully. Like there's probably a lot going on. We can be distracted by a lot of things, but to allow yourself to just fully land. And if you're able, just gently close your eyes and take in a deep breath, right? Allow your body to fill with that amazing breath that's accessible to each and every one of us. And feel your belly rise and just give your body a little bit of a thank you body, right? Let it all soften your jaw, your shoulders, your neck. And this is your space, right? This isn't about perfection. It's not about performance. It's about presence. To give ourselves all the moment to take a pause, right? And you are not crazy. You are not broken. You're living in a world that has taught us to push through pain, ignore our body, measure our worth by our output. And I'm going to kind of unpack that and unravel it a bit. Today, we begin to remember. We begin to remember who we are and who we were. This morning, I picked a card when I allowed myself that time to kind of get quiet. And it was the charioteer. And I thought, it reminded me of law of opposites, always in effect, right? We can't have dark without light. We don't really know joy without knowing pain or sadness. To be able to take a pause, to be able to elongate our seconds, to be able to give ourselves the moment, even if it's just a split second, to make that conscious breath or to be present in our bodies. And what I was reminded is just like with law of opposites, even when we're taking a pause, it's putting a different energy into motion. It's putting the energy of creativity, the energy of filling my cup up in motion. And we can also be in motion while also finding our pause, meaning finding our center, finding our home within. I really encourage each and every one of us to get quiet with, if I come home, what does that feel like? Does it feel like peace? Does it feel like calm? Does it feel like presence? Does it feel like connected? Does it smell like chocolate chip cookies? Whatever it is for you. And to be able to just be in this place of self observation of where can I be in motion while still feeling at home and being in the energy of pause? And where do I create space where I literally take a pause, knowing that there's still a lot in motion? I mainly work with women that are in this perimenopause and menopause journey. And so it becomes that much more important for us to allow the space for that pause, right? The recalibrating our sense of home, because it's a really wild time where there's a lot of recalibration. And a woman is like that caterpillar that goes into the chrysalis and becomes goo. And for some, it can be really uncomfortable. And they say things to me like, I don't recognize myself in the mirror and I'm not sleeping and I'm putting on weight and there's new sense of irritability and I don't feel like myself and whatever it might be for you. And to be able to go, right, things are changing. And they can change in a spectacular and vibrant way. But this chapter in a woman's life, which for some can be like a 15-year chapter, it becomes that much more important to take a pause. So let's kind of talk about vitality a little bit, and ask yourself the question, what does true vitality mean to me? It's not just energy or productivity. It's how we move. It's how we breathe. It's how we connect. It's how we love. But in my world, it's about doing it without burnout, not burning the candle at both ends. And what we're going to unpack is how most women are living in fine, right? Not the, ooh, girl, you looking fine today. Not that. Like, I'm fine. How you doing? I'm fine. I go, fine. No, that's not what we want. We want to feel spectacular. We want to feel vibrant. So ask yourself the question, what does vitality mean to me? Right? This isn't about we survive. It's about how do we fully show up, right? Where deep down someone might seem like they're feeling vital, but underneath the surface, they're depleted, they're disconnected, they actually feel distant from joy, right? It's not that. And what I want to unpack today is the 6 core areas that hold women in fine, right? Energy, hormones, libido, confidence, community, and vision casting. And all of them are important and equally weighted, right? So a lot of women come and work with me because we get to work on their hormones, and I do functional medicine testing, and we really unpack the energy and the hormones from a physiologic standpoint, sometimes libido too, just to turn it on. But there's also the, well, who am I being? What identity and am I embodying? Where's my confidence and my worthiness, and how in my vision casting? And when all of these 6 areas begin to align, you begin to bloom and blossom. It gives me chills down my entire spine. It's pause and bloom. It's all of it. And it's all really interrelated. And we're going to unpack that in the midst of our time together. I was thinking about a couple clients earlier who said, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to have support and just to watch the light bulb turn on in their lives. And they go, wow, my energy's back. Wow, I feel like I'm receiving education and I understand my body. And I wish I would have known this decades ago, but I'm so glad that I'm learning it now. But the other pieces that change are my confidence is growing. My belief systems are changing. I'm setting new boundaries with my community that come from deep self worth. This morning in my guided meditation, I saw the visual of a fence. And a fence can be so valuable when it comes to boundary setting, right? We as women, we're juggling all the balls. We've got a lot of responsibilities. For me, I've got a husband. I have 3 young children that are 12, 11, and 7. I'm a CEO. I run a business. I have clients all over the world. I have employees and agencies. And it can feel like a lot at times. And yet, when I do the work to find my home, to find my center, and to shift my beliefs, and to set those boundaries, to put the fence in place so that I'm surrounding myself with community that really lift me up, that I feel fed by and nourished by. But the other cool thing that this visual gave me is a fence can be moved. Like we can be fluid as powerhouse women that are growing and reaching for more vitality, growing in our confidence and our hormones and our energy. And we can set clear boundaries from a place of self-love, and the fence can move with us. Just ask yourself the question, when I imagine myself fully vibrant and alive, what words, sensations, and emotions come to mind? What do I feel like? How do I move? How do I think? How do I live? How do I love? When I imagine myself fully vibrant and alive, what words, sensations, and emotions come to mind? What areas do you feel most ready to nourish? Your energy, your hormones, your libido, your sleep, your community, your vision casting? And really allow yourself to acknowledge the role that all of them play, right? If we have vision but have no confidence, we're much less likely to put the vision into action. If we have vision and confidence, but our hormones are out of whack and we don't have energy, we're stuck on the couch, filling our mouths with caffeine and sugar, trying to figure out how to make it through the day. When I say libido, it's not just a sexual term. It's, I want you to feel turned on by your life. I want you to feel turned on by who you see in the mirror. And if you have a lover, to also feel turned on by him or her. but to feel those juices flowing and just get really honest with when passion is alive, how does that impact who you show up as in your community and how you build those fences and allow yourself to move them? How does it impact your ability to dream and cast vision and then embody her? To really go, like, I love making vision boards, but more recently I've made an identity board. Like to look at what is the life that I want to create? What do I want my health to look like, my relationships, my finances, my home, my things, and who is she? Who is she that's living that life? And can I embody her now? When we are in belief systems that are negative or less than grateful, when we're in a pessimistic state, when we're caught in stories of lack of worthiness or past trauma, when it comes to energy, maybe it's your physiology. Maybe we're going to look at your Dutch Plus test and I'm going to see that your adrenals are shot and your thyroid actually does need some support. And maybe you have a Hashimoto's, who knows? That's a very viable option. And even if you've been tested, most of the time the tests are crap that we get anyway. But a lot of the time it's how we're thinking and how we're being and through what lens we're seeing our world. And so today is really about cultivating the soil to go, okay, where am I? How is my vitality today? And what stories am I telling myself? What belief systems are in place? And it's not about judging myself. It's just like, some of us, it's been handed down as a genetic code. Epigenetics proves 7 generations deep. Maybe the way you're being is the way your mother was and your maternal grandmother and your maternal great grandmother. And we get to go, nope. And so I'm so glad that you're here in pause. And obviously, if I do have the opportunity to work with you, I'll celebrate that. So I'm curious so far, what's the thing that really jumps out at you? I don't take lightly that we're sharing this time, we're sharing this energetic exchange. We have a lot of places that we can be, a lot of areas that we can be prioritizing our time. And I know that you're here in my life for divine reason, and I'm here in your life for divine reason. So, what feels like the moment where you're like, that I needed to hear that? I needed to learn that. I needed to be reminded of that. The thing I want to kind of end with is there's a big difference between fear and love, and they can't coexist. So when we're coming from lack, exhaustion, fear, scarcity, comparison, lack of worthiness, and we make decisions from that place, we create more of it. And when we allow ourselves to flip the switch and look through the other lens of possibility and hope and expansiveness and abundance and love and joy and knowing that the universe is always conspiring for our better good, and to be in the place of gratitude, to be receiving in this container and commit to yourself to continue to show up, just being in that energy creates more of it. So I encourage you to make decisions from that energy, to act from that energy and say, who is she? What kind of life is she creating? What type of vitality is she existing in? How's that going to change her physiology and her hormones and her gut health and her thyroid and her adrenals? And when we tell ourselves, maybe later, we're often really saying, I'm not ready to choose myself yet. And I want to encourage you to be able to flip that switch and tell a new story, which is, I'm ready to choose myself. I'm ready to feel spectacular. I'm ready to once and for all have answers. Because when we act from truth and worthiness and love, we create more of that.